It's been a long journey to get here, but because of the hard work of so many folks, it's a historic day for Washingtonians. In my State of the State address, I called on all of us not just be witnesses to history, but to make history together. I'm proud to join all of you in making history today by signing into law Senate Bill 6346, the millionaire's tax.
I'm asking everyone who believes in fairness, dignity, and workers' rights to stand with us on this picket line. While baristas are on strike, the baristas have shared that the best way to show our support is not to buy Starbucks in solidarity.
Starbucks making the official announcement that it is adding new headquarters in Nashville.
Tennessee's governor took the podium to make the announcement. He said it means 2,000 more jobs for Tennessee. And it comes as we've reported the company signed a lease for a 250,000 square foot facility there. Leading up to this, we also found official job postings on Starbucks hiring portal, including several high-level corporate roles like director sourcing, global supply chain, and senior sourcing manager listed with the location Nashville rather than Seattle. Moving more operations to Tennessee could save the company millions. Tennessee doesn't have a payroll tax for high earners. Tennessee also has an excise tax, so they tax on profit. Here in Washington, we have a B&O tax that takes a cut out of every dollar of revenue, no matter if that dollar makes a profit or not. So if Starbucks sells $100 worth of coffee, but it costs $95 to produce that coffee with the price of electricity and beans and baristas and insurance, our state is taking a cut out of the 100. Tennessee would only take a cut out of the $5 profit.
We're establishing really a strategic presence, and we want to open this office kind of on the eastern side of the country, because we believe by investing, over $100 million, creating 2,000 new jobs in this area, it really sets us up for our next leg of growth, the next chapter of growth for us.
We know Governor Bob Ferguson met with Nickel at some point last week. It is unclear what happened during that meeting.
Seattle on its way to becoming the United States' next Detroit. What I took from the footage we just saw was where the current CEO of Starbucks says, hey, we're going to spend $100 million. We're going to have 250,000 square feet of office space. We're going to have 2,000 employees, and we feel that Nashville, Tennessee is the right location for us to expand in their next business phase. Not Seattle, Nashville, Tennessee. And you can see why. I mean, it's a no-brainer for a company like Starbucks. You've already got a bunch of libtards doing the whole my neck, my back, my paycheck is whack. That's literally where that comes from. Oh, my neck, my back, my paycheck is whack because I'm a barista and I expect more because I'm a millennial and I'm going to try and make a living pouring coffee. And that's just not really a thing. So Starbucks closes down a bunch of Seattle stores and everybody freaks out, right? I think what is happening is par for the course. It's absolutely dead on. This is what happens. These are the decisions big business makes when you announce a millionaire tax. I mean, in Seattle's already got a payroll tax, and then you layer on top of that Starbucks actually being boycotted by its own mayor. Seattle's mayor boycotted Starbucks. All of this plays into this. And you know damn well Bob Ferguson had a meeting with the CEO, and I'm sure that didn't go well. They're trying to, come to an agreement. All right, what does Starbucks exiting Seattle for the most part really look like? Because that's what's happening. That is what you are watching. All this talk about working with the Seattle headquarters, all those folks are going away because it doesn't make sense to run a business in Seattle anymore. Why would you? You just wouldn't. This is on purpose. This is on purpose. It's absolute sheer madness what you see going on. I mean, how to deliberately run businesses out of your city and your state. 101. That's what we're watching by the Democrat Party in Seattle and Washington State right now. Let's take a look at this article. So we've known since the beginning of of March that Starbucks based in Seattle is going to do office space in Nashville. We didn't know how much. We didn't know how much they were spending. We didn't know how many employees they were going to have there. It's about half the size of their current Starbucks headquarters. So you can't tell me this isn't new headquarters. This is new headquarters. We're just not saying that. We are saying, oh, and for, optics' sake, Seattle's still our headquarters. Winky, winky. That thing where you go like that behind your back, which means whatever you say doesn't go, right? It's not binding. It's not legally binding because, you do this. What was that anyway? High-level corporate roles previously based in Seattle already appearing on hiring portals for the Tennessee location, a move likely driven by the state's more favorable corporate tax structure. When you saw Taylor Winkle of Fox break it down, Starbucks taxes on $100, or Washington State taxes on $100. That's our B&O tax. That's what I get taxed on, not profit, gross sales. Whereas Tennessee has an excise tax based on profit. Make $5, $95 in costs, $5 in profit, get taxed on the profit. Okay, that still leaves some profit. The B&O Washington State has is just a money grab. And it's because of that money grab on top of the millionaire tax money grab that's going to become an everyone tax. That's why you've got so many businesses and businesses like Starbucks leaving. Seattle-based coffee giant Starbucks investing $100 million, 2,000, Nashville, Tennessee, over the next 5 years. This is happening over the next. Starbucks is gone. Starbucks is gone. Just poof, see ya. Down the road. And all of those baristas here that thought, oh, this protesting thing's really going to work out for me. Yeah. No, it's just not, right? Company announced on Tuesday, today, Nashville offices will complement its global headquarters. Oh, that's great. Where the majority of the support teams remain. Everybody in Seattle, you should be worried or you should move. Hey, I'm in Nashville. I'm available. But you won't because a lot of you are a bunch of liberals who actually voted in Katie Wilson. And that's how you get a mayor who boycotts one of Seattle's biggest companies, Seattle-based company. It's just, we're living in the down under. While some Nashville-based positions will be new, others will involve relocating select technology and sourcing teams to the region to improve proximity to suppliers and local talent. See how there's local talent here, there's suppliers here. You're talking kind of Southwest versus Northwest. Yeah, you can make the argument. Hey, Starbucks has always been here. We should always be here. But no, you've got external factors. You've got taxation issues that are just horrific. You've got an anti-business climate here in Washington State, and it's on purpose. Drive out business. It's going to be great. Oh, it's going to be great. Starbucks plans to open a temporary workspace in May before moving into a permanent downtown facility at the Peabody Union Complex. Peabody Union Complex is supposed to be impressive. Nashville is going for it. Tennessee is going for it. And Washington State and Seattle are going for it in a different way. They're trying to see how many businesses and how many wealthy people, how many billionaires they can drive out within a short period of time, right? Don't you think Bob Ferguson knows all this? He's not a dumb guy. He makes some bad decisions, in my opinion, but he's not dumb. He knows this is going to drive out business. He just knows it. But this is their agenda. This is what they want. This is what they're doing. So Nashville, Tennessee gets to benefit. Company signed a lease for 250,000 square feet. That's a big space. I don't care who you are or what you're doing. That's some office space. 250,000 square feet of office space. That's huge. That's big. New hub has the capacity to house 2,000 employees. While the company has not yet released a formal statement, official job postings in the Starbucks hiring portal Tuesday morning already list several high-level corporate positions. So roles such as director of sourcing for global chain supply, senior sourcing manager, which were typically in Seattle, are now in Tennessee locations. So there's a team at Starbucks I am surmising all this, right? I am taking liberty with imagining and rethinking how Starbucks is doing all this. There is a team at Starbucks who is tasked with, all right, guys, here's the deal. We're moving out of Seattle. We're moving out of Washington State. We're making a massive move to Tennessee, which is far away from Seattle and far away from Washington. We're still going to say that Seattle is our headquarters, but everything reality-wise, all of our decisions, all of our facts, all of our content is going to indicate Tennessee is the new headquarters. Tennessee is our new hub in the United States, not Seattle. But your task, your team's forward-moving task is to make everybody think that everything's hunky-dory in Seattle, and Seattle is going to be our headquarters, for years to come in the future. Your task is to smooth that bump over. Make sure everybody thinks, oh yeah, but they said they're staying. What about any of this indicates Seattle is a long-term choice for Starbucks? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. There is zero to point to Seattle's going to be Starbucks location for a long time down the road. It's simply just not. They closed the roastery. They closed the roastery in Seattle. They closed the Seattle Starbucks on the Ave, University of Washington Ave. They closed my beloved Starbucks in East Lake. I don't have a beloved Starbucks. I drink they've got good Emperor's green tea, put a tea bag in a cup of hot water. Yeah. Anyway, expansion comes as the company navigates a period of internal transition. They've had profits go way down. They've had four different CEOs in the last 4 years, and ongoing unionization efforts among its baristas. So check that out, right? Ongoing unionization efforts among its baristas, led by the mayor. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Oh, it's commie land. It's communist land. Sorry, socialists. They want to do everything but take the methods of production, right? Which is basically the difference between socialism and communism. But you know what? For all intents and purposes, these are communists. So let's just go with that. Bunch of commies running Starbucks out. Yeah. Move could save the company millions in taxes. Not a shocker. Tennessee doesn't have a payroll tax and utilizes an excise tax. Instead, Washington State has a B&O tax. Companies across the nation recognize that Tennessee's strong values and fiscally conservative approach are good for business. We're proud to welcome another Fortune 500 company like Starbucks to our state. I mean, literally, if you grew up in Washington State, like I did, you've been here your whole life, you have watched company after company after company just absolutely explode onto the world stage. I mean, Microsoft, Amazon, Starbucks, the list just goes on and on. Expedia, right? Expedia. and then to watch the end result of the last few years, and this has been ongoing. This is what happens when you have a Democrat majority and your court system is also run by a bunch of Democrats. They run business out because they're so concerned with creating enough tax revenue for all of their absurd programs that we simply don't need, that they run business out because they're forced to just tax the absolute F out of everything. If it walks, it talks, tax it. Just tax it. Here we go. This is the best part here. Despite the new Nashville lease, so it's everything after that statement, right? That's true. It's like when you say, I really love you, but it's everything after that but that counts, right? Despite the new Nashville lease, Securities and Exchange Commission filings from last month still list Starbucks' principal executive office on Utah Avenue in Seattle's Soto neighborhood. Okay. For how long? Washington Governor Bob Ferguson reportedly met with Starbucks CEO Brian Niccol last week, though the details of that meeting have not been disclosed. What they talk about. What do you think they chatted about? Hey, you guys leaving? Oh, no, we're here to stay. We're here for you, Bob. We're not leaving. We're not going anywhere. I mean, you guys have created such a beautiful business environment for not only businesses, but millionaires and billionaires. I don't know why anybody would want to leave Seattle. I don't know why anybody would want to leave King County. I have no idea why anybody would want to leave Washington State. I mean, it's so painfully obvious. That's why all of this is on purpose. It's like In-N-Out. In-N-Out Burger moving to Tennessee. I think they also moved to Nashville, right? Out of California. It's a no-brainer, just based on money alone. Cheaper, more affordable. You can actually have employees buy homes. What a novel concept. Here in Washington State, our housing has gotten so expensive that it's like Oregon, it's like California. It's just, when you're close to the big cities, it's outrageously expensive. Nobody can afford it, right? So you go to other states and you're like, wow, Oklahoma, cheap. What's going on? What's going on? Well, they've created a situation where it's affordable. Haven't loaded it up with all kinds of nonsense. Haven't loaded it up with all kinds of taxes that just absolutely drive business out. So this is in Seattle, in Washington State, you've got the blind leading the blind, period. That's what you've got. In other states, Tennessee, Texas, Florida, the Carolinas, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Utah. They're taking in businesses, they're taking in people because they're better positioned for life moving forward. Out of California, out of Oregon, out of Washington, out of Illinois, out of Chicago, going to Florida, going to Texas, going to Tennessee. Kind of makes sense. I mean, it doesn't it's just, it's literally a blinding glimpse of the obvious. I think that's what Ross F. Johnson called it in Barbarians at the Gate. I know I'm going old school there, but that was a great movie. That was a great book. Barbarians at the Gate. Blinding glimpse of the obvious, meaning, hey, you're going to tax the absolute F out of businesses. They're going to leave. That's your blinding glimpse of the obvious. Just like, right? And as somebody who's lived here my entire life and run a business here for most of my adult years, since my I guess probably mid-20s, I think maybe 23 or 24, I've had a business in Washington State, and it was great at one time. I mean, it was just like, hey, this is what we're doing. And then slowly over time, you're like, I can't afford to run that same business here. I am getting taxed 10 ways from Sunday. So what are we doing? I'm picking up and going to Oklahoma. I told one of my neighbors the other day, I don't know him very well. We've had one of his trees fell on my truck during the big storm we had, the bomb cyclone storm. And I told him I was moving to Oklahoma, and you could just see the look on his face. He was like, what? Just like he ate something really tart, you know what I mean? Or something really sour. It's classic. I'm like, yep, going to Oklahoma. He's like, oh, just couldn't work that one out. It's affordable. Makes sense. Now, people who vote red there. I mean, polar opposite of what we're seeing here and in line with what's going on in Tennessee. So this story's got legs. This is going to keep on going. Maybe we'll hear what Bob Ferguson and CEO of Starbucks, Brian Niccol, talked about. That'll be a good one. So make sure you're subscribed, hit the notification bell. I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks again for joining. Bye for now.